Do you suffer from writer's block? Trust me, I've written over 100 books and I know how agonizing writer's block can be. I'm going to teach you how to beat writer's block once and forever. But first, hi there, my name is Michael Aran. I'm the author of over 100 books of science fiction, fantasy, and self-help books for writers. And I run this channel because I believe that every writer has an inner Stephen King and you just need help unlocking it. So be sure to subscribe if you'd like more content on writing advice. I want you to think about your mind as a bucket. And this bucket is overflowing with tons of inspiration that you get every day, all day, as you go on about your life. This bucket sometimes gets some holes in it. And those holes are what we actually define as writer's block. And when we learn to plug the holes, we can keep the bucket full and you can access that full wellspring of inspiration. But when the bucket leaks, all of that inspiration leaks out, and that's why you can't write. There are 3 holes in our bucket that we have to fill. The first hole is fear. Physically, writing a novel is not that bad. Mentally, it's emotional warfare. And as writers, we constantly tell ourselves that we can't do this, or we're constantly worried about what readers are going to think, and that fear can be paralyzing. One of my favorite talks I've ever heard is from Gavin de Becker. And Gavin de Becker is a security consultant who is in charge of protecting very famous people. He was a security consultant for Oprah Winfrey, Jeff Bezos, and more recently, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And he wrote a great book called The Gift of Fear. And when he was promoting that book, he gave a great talk, and I'll link to the video down below, about fear. He tells this story about a guy that's surfing, and while surfing, he gets attacked by a great white shark. And he's fighting this shark while he's in the shark's jaws, and he reaches over and jams his thumbs in the shark's eyes and blinds the shark. And the shark goes crazy and starts swimming down toward the ocean floor. And at that point, the shark let him go and he could have swum up and gone away. But something told the guy to hang on. So he hangs on to the shark and gets down to the bottom of the ocean. And then finally, something tells him to let go and he swims up through his own blood and lives to tell about it. Why did he hold on to that shark? Nobody knows. But that's fear. Fear is a biological response designed to save your life. So when you are in imminent danger, imminent physical danger, fear kicks in so that you can do things that you didn't think you could do, and you get superhuman abilities as a way to protect yourself. Now contrast that with anxiety, which feels a lot like fear, but it is something that you imagine or that you remember. When you're staring at the blinking cursor, you are imagining readers not liking the story. You are imagining the story not landing the way that you wanted to, but it's not reality. You might even be remembering about a book that you published that people didn't like, but even so, that's not reality. And maybe this is not your first time at the rodeo and you've published a book, and maybe there were times when readers didn't like a particular thing in your book and you're worried about that. But that's still not reality. When you're staring at the blinking cursor and you're wondering if it's all going to work out, I want you to think about those movies that are playing in your head and ask yourself, are they something that I'm imagining or that I'm remembering? And if the answer is yes, then that is anxiety. And the answer to solving that is to just keep going. As a writer, stop being afraid of things that you imagine or you remember, and you will set yourself free. And the benefit to setting yourself free is that you will plug that first hole in your leaky bucket. The second hole in our leaky bucket is lack of inspiration. And this is what we classically think of when we think about writer's block. It's the inability to figure out what comes next. This happens because our creative wells run dry. The answer to this is quite simple. Get away from your computer and get out into the world and consume. Let me give you a rapid fire list of things that you can do to overcome this bout of writer's block. First, read a ton of books. Stephen King said that if you don't have time to read, then you don't have time to write, and that's totally correct. So read a lot of books, but don't just read when you have writer's block. Make it a consistent habit to read as much and as widely as you can. Read books in your genre. Read books outside of your genre. Do everything you can to read and make time and space for it, and that will pay off dividends by preventing writer's block, as well as addressing it when it does arrive. Next, watch movies, watch television, go to a movie theater, go to a play. Just consume as much content as you possibly can. Again, this works before you have writer's block because it reduces the time that you'll spend in writer's block, but also it's just a good thing to do to get away and get some inspiration. Go on dates with yourself. Do something that you would not normally do. Go to Google and type in things to do in your city this weekend and see what pops up. And just pick the most random thing and do it. And when you go with your writer's eyes on. So people watch, pay attention to the different words that people are using, pay attention to people's behaviors, be a student of people, and also be a student of whatever it is that you're going to do. Go to a restaurant that you've never been to. There's probably restaurants that you pass every day that you never even thought about going into. Go to a museum. Go to your local library. Go to a branch of your local library that you've never been to. Go to a famous place in your city that you are embarrassed to not have been to. All of these things will help you fill your creative well. I also highly recommend that you keep a notebook just so that you can write your ideas down to have them in case you ever need them, and also to practice and sharpen your writer's eye. So when you're staring at the blinking cursor, another question I want you to ask yourself is, am I having trouble seeing what comes next? And if the answer is yes, then go off and be a human and then come back. There is a danger to lack of creative inspiration, and that is that you can watch a lot of movies, read a lot of books, go off and do a lot of things, and then never come back to the blinking cursor. You don't want that. So what I like to do is set a timer. So let's say it's Friday night and I'm just not feeling it. Sunday morning, I'm going to come back to the blinking cursor. And between Friday night and Sunday morning, I'm going to go off and do as many different things as I possibly can. Setting a timer and sticking to it will ensure that you return to the page. And when you fill that creative well, you will plug the second hole in our leaky bucket. The third and final hole in our leaky bucket is personal circumstances. Life happens to us all. We all get sick. We all get injuries. We have issues that come up at home and with our family members, and our family members get sick and they get injured, and we have to deal with life as it comes. And the reason you sit down in front of the blinking cursor is because your subconscious is telling you, don't write, deal with a problem that you're having in your life. That's why you can't write. So the question you want to ask yourself is there something bigger in my life right now that I need to be addressing? And if the answer is yes, stop writing, go off and deal with the problem you need to deal with, however long it takes you, and the words will always be there when you return. Writing is something you can always choose to do, and there's never a game over. But remember, your family and your chosen family has to come first. And when you deal with those problems and you return to the page, you will find that the words will start flowing faster than you thought. And the benefit of dealing with life circumstances is that you will plug the third and final hole in our leaky bucket. So to review, if we think about our mind as a bucket overflowing with inspiration, but that has holes in it, then if we plug those holes, then we can address writer's block and keep that bucket full to access whenever we need it. You're staring at the blinking cursor next time, ask yourself these 3 questions, and they will help you determine which holes you have in your bucket, and you'll know exactly what to do. First, am I afraid of something that I am imagining or remembering? If so, plug through it. Second, am I uncertain about what comes next? If the answer is yes, then go off and fill that creative well. And third, is there something else in my life that I need to be dealing with right now? If the answer is yes, go deal with it. When you come back, the words will flow. And if you want more tips on beating writer's block once and forever, be sure to check out my book, Be a Writing Machine: How to Write Faster and Smarter, Beat Writer's Block, and Be Prolific. These are the exact tips that I've used to write over 100 books while raising a family, working a full-time job in insurance, and even attending law school classes in the evenings. And I'm positive if you like this video, you will be right at home in this book. It's available in ebook, paperback, and audio wherever you get your books. In the meantime, I've got a novel to write, and I'm sure you do too. So happy writing, and I'll see you in the next video.
Perfect.